From items that got removed due to real-world events to things that got removed because they work-friendly. Here are 30 features that were removed from Fortnite, starting with stretched resolution. This was a feature discovered in Chapter 1 that was used a lot, especially by pros. The whole point of stretched res was to make it easier for players to see everything on the screen, which would give them a huge advantage. Due to the strong benefit using this specific resolution gave players, Fortnite decided it would be best to just remove it. They also said stretched resolution just wasn't how the game was meant to look. It's also notable that stretched res could have only been used on PC. Then pros also used the superhero skins to give them an advantage as well. This led to Fortnite removing the all-black and all-white superhero skins and altogether banning them in competitive game modes, because most tryhards would use these skins to blend into some spots. I mean, because look at this screenshot. Can you even see this skin? And Fortnite might eventually allow these skins to be used in Arena in the future, but the double pump is something that'll never come back to the game. This was a strategy that Daquan discovered in the early days that allowed players to bypass the shotgun delay, which is a pretty insanely overpowered thing. I mean, with double pump, you used to be able to take out a whole squad in under 3 seconds. Double pumping was probably really annoying for the ones who had to fight against it, but the good old version of turbo building that everybody loved getting removed was something that people did not like. I certainly don't know anyone who wanted this to happen. In Season X, Fortnite decided they wanted to test things out by removing the current version of turbo building, nerfing it pretty dang hard. This had streamers and players so mad that it got to the point where revert turbo building was trending on Twitter. A happy ending though, because it was changed back before Chapter 2. Unlike the block was a place located on the map that allowed players to get their creations displayed on the map for everyone to see. And everything was going well with the block until a player added a room with a rope hanging from the ceiling with the tipped over chair, which indicated something very inappropriate for Fortnite. Yeah, not sure how Fortnite let that one through, but the block was eventually removed during the end. It is clear though that with Fortnite removing the hanging scene as quickly as they did, they don't want to do anything that will make them receive backlash. So they also removed police cars from the game due to some events in the world during 2020. Before this happened, you used to be able to find police cars all around the map, but Fortnite replaced them all with regular civilian cars. And I really think more people should be testing out items and such that Fortnite releases before they were introduced into the game, because the bear hug emote that got released on August 6th was quickly removed after Fortnite noticed that the emote had an animation glitch that would put players in a, well, not so work-friendly position when they did that emote. And it makes me wonder if the creator of that emote could also be the creator of the player model physics as well, because back in Season 6, Fortnite gave the Calamity skins some unusual physics that were also inappropriate for this type of game. And you would have been able to see it a lot when you did the Jubilation emote while wearing this skin. But Fortnite later fixed that and apologized for it on Twitter. We know for a fact we won't be getting stuff like that back, but it would be cool to have the Zapatron back, because this was a legendary sniper that could have only been found in supply drops. And let me tell you, it was quite overpowered due to the sheer damage that it dealt. But I don't think many players got to use it since it was vaulted 30 minutes after its release. Frankly, it seems like Fortnite didn't have everything planned out during Season 1, because the wall dynamo was a trap that electrocuted players who passed by it. This trap could have only been placed on walls and would have dealt 125 damage when it hit someone. Basically, if the wall dynamo had stuck around for longer, it would have become the outdated version of the damage trap. I say that because the wall dynamo was vaulted and effectively replaced by the damage trap in update 1.11. But now, even this trap has been added to the vault, and there are currently no official traps in the game. So it seems like someone who works on Fortnite might not be the biggest fan of traps, since we haven't seen them in the loot pool in a while. To be fair though, traps were honestly the most annoying in Playground when you would 1v1 players who spammed them. And Playground was added to give players the chance to build and have fun in Fortnite with their friends, other than just by playing solos, duos, or squads, since those were the only game modes before they added Playground. But the Playground mode was later removed and replaced by the Battle Lab, since you could have only stayed in Playground for 4 hours before the storm closed right in on you. But there also used to be an old storm design in Fortnite that they removed. This storm was around during the earlier seasons, and this version of it had a completely different sound and design compared to the current storm we have in the game today. Only real OGs will remember that one, as well as the Season Shop. The Season Shop used to be in the game very briefly before Fortnite introduced the Battle Pass in Season 2. This shop had 4 items: the Renegade Raider, Aerial Assault Trooper, Raider's Revenge, and Aerial Assault 1 Glider. Then you also had to reach certain levels before you could buy each of these items. But you didn't have to pay for everything back then, because the default dance is a free emote that everyone has. And there used to be 3 songs that went with this dance until Fortnite removed the 3rd one. This is a song that'll bring the nostalgia. Just check this out. Okay, if you didn't remember that, then I'm pretty sure you won't know about shout emotes. These were supposed to get introduced to Fortnite, but they changed their minds and decided not to release them. These emotes would have allowed players to produce a text bubble with a shout above their heads with specific messages. Here are a few you can hear for yourself.
Damn! Bow down! Bow down to Booga!
And I couldn't forget to put the burst on the list, and although it's still in the game, the OG version of it isn't anymore. The old burst used to have a different look and sound effect compared to the newer one they have in the game currently. This change didn't really impact the community much since no version of the burst was overpowered, but we all were happy when the Marauders got removed because Fortnite randomly added these things during Chapter 2, Season 3. And they were a gang of overpowered bots that would go around the map spraying at you and throwing stink bombs at the worst possible times. Good riddance! And you know what? I feel like they should have had the mushroom friend in the game while they had the Marauders, since it would have helped you out. This was a secret mushroom named Lil Bud that was in the game for one day that you could have found in Weeping Woods. If you woke him up, he would have helped you out by following you around the map for 10 minutes, giving you health and shields whenever you needed them. Then this wasn't even the only weird mushroom in the game, because they also had the mythic mushroom in Chapter 2 Season 3. And you could have found this mushroom at Weeping Woods as well, and it would have given whomever consumed it 100 shields in 1 second. I think they should keep adding mushrooms to the game. Unlike with the little mushrooms, I'm glad they removed smoke grenades. These were some of the most annoying grenades in the game that would straight up blind you until the smoke dissipated or you somehow found your way out of it. Then they didn't last too long in the core playlist since they got vaulted in Season 3. Although, those did last a bit longer than the directional jump pad. This was a Season 1 version of the bouncer, but orange instead of blue, that could have only been placed on the floor, and it would have just taken up one corner instead of a whole tile. And whichever direction you were to walk on it in, it would have launched you that way. All these things have been getting vaulted, but we can't forget about actual vaults. In Chapter 2, Seasons 2, 3, and 4, vaults were popular. But Fortnite later removed them from the game. Well, they're not entirely removed, it's just that they're not as good as they used to be. You don't even have to unlock them anymore, no one's guarding them. It makes sense why they technically removed vaults. Still, I don't know if anyone knows why they removed the original Hulk Smasher's animation. This pickaxe used to have a very original and unique animation when they first introduced it to the game. It was similar to what Hulk would do, you know, Hulk smash and all that, but out of nowhere, Fortnite changed the animation for this pickaxe to the same animation of all the regular dual-wield pickaxes. I really think it would be cool if they were to bring back the old animation, as well as the Midas Flopper. This was a rare flopper fish that looked exactly like Midas, that was in the game during Chapter 2 Season 4, which would turn every possible item in your inventory to Legendary Rarity! However, you could have only caught the Midas Flopper if you went fishing by the Authority / the Ruins. Almost every player at the time wanted to get their hands on the Midas Flopper, but no one really cared about the Kingsman umbrella. This was a melee weapon introduced in Chapter 2 Season 2, and it was effectively identical to the lightsabers, except for one difference, which is that you could have used the Kingsman to avoid fall damage. In the end, most players forgot about the Kingsman umbrella after it was removed, since they didn't care about it, unlike Greasy Grove, which has a spot in every OG player's heart, because Greasy was one of the legendary POIs in Chapter 1 that every player cared about. But it later got ruined near the end of the chapter. You used to be able to get very good loot from Greasy. You even had a high chance of getting the guided missile from there. This was an overpowered Grand Theft Auto type rocket that players had the option to control, that Fortnite removed from the game because they said it was too powerful to be in the game. Then you could have also rocket-ridden yourself with this if you stood on top of your builds in a certain way. But speaking of builds, let's not forget that Fortnite removed bubble wrap builds. This is something that tryhards would have used when they had low texture mode turned on to give them higher FPS and less input delay. This wasn't as big of a deal to everyone since you could have only done it on PC, but account merging is something that Fortnite removed that many players still want brought back to the game. Click on this video on the screen before you go. Yep, that one, that's the one, do it.